Yeah, my name is Pongratz. I'm a professor here at the College of Architecture, and I founded and direct the Design and Fabrication program. Now, what is digital design and fabrication? As the word really says, we typically work in three areas, in teaching and in research. So the first part is computation. So we talk about software, we talk about tools, how to design in today's times. And then the second one is fabrication and materials. So we research and teach students how to investigate contemporary materials, traditional materials, and how to work them in new fashions. And then there's a third component, which is construction and assembly. So typically what we do is we make one-to-one scale components or large assemblies, and we make installations where we test or proof test basically our concepts of design and materials, and we experiment how certain assemblies actually work today. Now, here in this program room we have an assembly of various different aspects of teaching and research. So we see here various types of assemblies or prototypes, I would say. They experiment partially with the question of components, which in this case are 3D printed parts. We have metal parts, and then we actually experiment with complex geometries. So this is an area where we in particular investigate building envelopes. We're interested to question how can we, in today's time, rethink building envelopes in a more sustainable sense. How do we introduce new properties to materials or new structural, let's say, feasibilities within materials. And we go from drawing, as we see here on the wall. So we have various types of printed outputs from our design workshops or from our design exercises. And then we move on and we test those with various types of fabrication equipments. So we are fortunate, and I think we are probably one of the best programs, at least in Texas, in that sense, and we are certainly nationwide already recognized for our Fab Lab shop. So we experiment with 3D printing, of course. We do have CNC machining technology. We have laser cutting technology, and since about 2 years we experiment with robotic fabrication. And so we have really a large range of fabrication equipment available for students. So here let's talk at one example. So together with students we explored here smaller scale components. Yeah? Those here are either cast in concrete or we 3D print them on one of our 3D printing machines. And so we experiment not only the geometry on a small scale, but then we make assemblies as we see on this part here. So this is then a scaled model of a full screen wall assembly. And so we see the transition, understanding how to make a single small component, experiment with 3D printing, which is really exciting. And then we talk about joint technologies, how do we actually assemble various components, yeah? And we test it on a small scale. And then after that we go to a larger scale, so students really experiment with casting, looking into materials, with mold making, and we go to a larger scale, which we see over there. Okay, so now here we have two tables with various types of material components. And so, for example, we go through a set of positives. Here we see, for example, laser cut MDF material. What we do is we assemble it in various layers and build a full prototype, or we have polyurethane expanded casts. So we use those basically as full type positives, and then what we do is we make molds, so students get access actually then to either silicone or polyurethanic molds, and from these then, as we see here, you can actually then cast, make the mold first, and then basically we cast on the inside, and we get then one-to-one scale components like this one here. And those are the ones that we saw just previously as they become then installed on the larger scale, one-to-one full assembly. Sometimes students even become experimental, so we then go also and make small-scale molds, in this case, various types of plastic materials, rubber materials, and we experiment also with various types of concrete in this case, mixtures of concrete, admixtures, chemicals. So it's a wide range really that we explore, and it gives students a really real exposure to today's tasks in architecture. So come study to Texas Tech at the College of Architecture and experiment together with us new types of architectural designs and fabrications, and look with us into exploring materials. I think it's an exciting place, and we would like to see you here. Thank you.